I'm watching WLDS. Freaking
I'm
dude,
watching it too.
it's
I'm
nice.
up. I'm up $24 on it.
I'm up $87. So
Yeah.
I basically crawled from I was down at almost $1,000 today, and I'm only down 460. It's been such a shitty day for me.
Yeah. It was tough for me too.
So I stopped kind of getting super aggressive, and I just feel like I'll have like a couple wins and then I just give it back in like one big nasty loser, which is horrible.
That was what I had been doing
Yeah.
constantly most of last year. And I think that's one of the major things that I've gotten better at this year.
Yeah, it's nice.
Because like for all of us, and when I do my mentor sessions with Warrior, I'm like, raise your hand if you've ever taken a green trade. It's like the problem isn't making money, it's obviously giving back more than you're making.
It's only worth it if you work for it. It's only worth it if you work for it. I won't stop till they hear me now. I won't stop till I wear the crown.
Usually I'm pretty good at that. Today is one of those days where I just can't get in, do anything right, it feels like. So and yeah, I can't even get my camera to not blur my half my body. So I'll be a floating head today, I guess. I don't know. I tried many different lightings and stuff. Nothing's working. My room's a mess. We got back from the New York City trip, and then we're getting ready for some Airbnb guests, and then we're also getting ready for another trip to Peniche for some surfing. So it's just like there's just luggage and crap everywhere behind me. So I'm trying to ideally blur.
Where is that?
And Peniche, that's like an hour and a half north of Lisbon. So
Oh, cool.
really awesome. It's a little south of Nazaré. You probably know that, the big
That's
wave.
awesome. Dude, you have to go there. Did you ever go there before?
Yeah, 2 years ago we surfed there for like 6 weeks. Not Nazaré, but in
I was
Peniche.
gonna say, holy shit.
Then we took some trips there just to kind of watch. It's a cool place though. I mean, Portugal is insane. It's so cheap. Like we got a rental car for $7 a day.
That's awesome.
And our Airbnb was like $600 for 6 weeks or so. It was insane.
What?
What
the hell?
We were living the good life.
That's insane. I need to get the fuck out of America.
America's so expensive.
Yeah, fuck this.
What's up, Tom?
Hey.
Oh, he's got the mute on.
There you go. So if you're still looking at WLDS, like that's why I'm not very interested in it. It's been trading like that since last week, since it started popping up, just like terrible.
Yeah, it's got these sketchy breakouts grinding up and then it flushes back down. Yeah, today's just I'm gonna probably not keep trading today.
Same. Yeah, I'm locking it up. I mean, we've got one more day of the month left. I'm on a pretty solid month again, luckily somehow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm like we were just saying, I've been doing a pretty good job of not giving back too many gains.
That's what it's
all about. And that's pretty much it. I did start the day red though. I started the day red 400 on top, and I just left it there. I'm still down 400 on top. But then AI started popping up and I shorted AI from the top actually. And that was my first really solid hit of the day. And that got me back to green and then well into the green.
So you switched to large caps today.
Well, I mean, it was the only thing that was moving.
So true.
Like, it was the only thing that had volume and range, and it was clear direction too. So like volume, range, clear direction, it was the only thing worth trading in my opinion.
Actually, my biggest winner today is coin. At one point I did the same thing. I said, screw these small caps. I'm down like 500 on beat. I'm down 400 on ACON. AIC I'm slightly green on, WLDS slightly green on. I could not catch a break today. So
yeah, there weren't really any breaks today. Tom's putting on sunscreen.
Yeah, look at him go.
As you should be in this kind of market.
What are you doing out there, Tom? Are you at the Outer Banks? I know he's in North Carolina, so
What
Maybe
the hell is he doing?
he's lathering up the lady.
This is a podcast first.
This is
Yeah, for real.
all right. Well, yeah. So the month is almost over. I keep forgetting that it's one of those weeks where it's like halfway through the halfway house weeks.
Yeah, it's a weird week.
Not to mention it's a short week, and it's going to be extra short. For me, I'm taking Friday off, so it's only a 3-day trading week, but 4-day for pretty much most people. So,
how are you approaching that short week as far as like mindset?
Yeah, so mindset was like I was thinking if I could just have like a decent green week, it doesn't even no one day needs to be that good, or small red, today I'm red. It doesn't really matter. I'm just like, I kind of wish I was trading Friday, but I'm going to be totally gone. I'm going to be kind of driving, so on the road. I kind of feel like these short weeks, sometimes they heat up at the end, as opposed to normal weeks. They start off hot and then they get like slower. So I'm a little bit sad I'm missing Friday, but at the same time, it was a pretty solid month for me too, based on how I started the year. And
that's good.
I'm not too worried about it. We're not like in amazing conditions yet. And
no, I mean, like in any case, Friday is probably not going to be super hot. Anyways, last Friday was super slow.
Yeah, last Friday was really bad.
Yeah. It's like you can't count on it. So you might as well like plan your own things and plan your life anyways. So if we were in a super hot market, then yeah, maybe it would make sense to like try not to miss a day, but
yeah, that's true. So Tom, what are you up to over there?
I'm just sitting by the pool.
Okay.
Hanging out.
Well,
Yep. So that's really it.
How's your trading day? I know you called it a little earlier today.
Yeah, today wasn't bad for pre-market. I got like small green with beat on like a quick break of 3 and Acon for the break of 150. And then I traded at the open. I traded, what was it? Beat a little more, and I was able to get myself like okay green, like small green. And then I was like, there's nothing else to trade. So I was looking at AI, and I was trying to start to trade AI like a small cap, and it usually just never works out for me. And I just got to keep reminding myself to stick with what I know and what I do well on. And AI wasn't it. It definitely did not fit the parameters. I ended up giving back a little bit off the top there, unfortunately. But my mindset was just kind of like, oh, so large cap is moving. Let's try to get some practice in. And I did small size, but ended red. I tried buying the dips after it topped out. And the large caps are not really, once it picks that direction, buying those dips does not really end well.
Yeah. I think you had the right idea switching up though, to larges. Like Danny and I switched up to larges, and those are both our bigger winners. It's just small caps today were so crappy.
Yeah, definitely very weak momentum.
Large caps and mid caps, I mean, obviously they're very different. They just trade completely differently, and you have to kind of be aware of that. I usually take like half or less of my regular size, and you just really have to be patient because they just tend to move in the same direction for much longer than small caps, where it's like pop up, little pullback, consolidation, pop up. On the mid caps and large caps, it's much more like grinding this way for a long time, false breakout reversal, grinding this way for a long time.
Yeah.
And then if you're like trying to buy the pullback, it's not really generally at all the same kind of pullback. It's like, that's kind of like
pulls
the worst
back for like 20
to
minutes.
Yeah.
It pulls back for 20 minutes, and then you end up averaging down, and then it just goes lower, and then it goes a little lower. And you think, oh, this is it. It's going to reverse. Let me add a little bit more here. And then before you know it, you're like down, like way past more than you'd want to be down. And that was kind of like my problem today. But at least I'm small green, and I guess, I'll take what I can get on a weekday like today. And days like today really define the successful traders and the people who are able to hang it up early and not push it. Those are the people that survive to the point where that hot market comes around, because it always does. And if they don't get into a huge drawdown before then, they're just adding profits on the top once that market shifts. And that's the key. You can't really push it on like a day like today.
Yeah, exactly. You hit the nail on the head. I'm trying to wrap it up. Luckily, so last week on the podcast, I gave back like $700 or so off my profit. And then
right there in the middle.
But then like 2 minutes after we ended, I made it all back, which was unfortunate for the recording. But yeah, I mean, I was where I am profit wise an hour and a half ago, and then I started trading ATTO, and it was when it had the first breakout through 250, and I got that long and I got the breakout, and then somehow I accidentally went short on it, and so my green trade turned into a couple $100 loss as it kept going. And then I was like a little bit triggered and just wanted to get my profit back, and chopped around on it for like the next hour until now I'm finally back $30 green on it. But before that trade, I was like, all right, I'm in a good spot, I'm done for the day. And then I just, anything can happen when you take that one next trade.
Yeah. It's so easy to be like, just like one more trade or something like that. And then all of a sudden you just give back, 40%. And then you're like, instantly on tilt.
Yeah.
And,
yeah. So I'm calling it a day.
Hours. Yeah.
I'm calling it a day. I've spent a lot of money in the last like week or so. I bought a new espresso machine. I got a watch last weekend. I need to like lock up my gains.
So. Jesus.
New espresso
what kind of watch was it?
Investment.
I got an Omega watch for the first time. I have been wanting one for like as long as I can remember.
That's cool.
So yeah.
Are watches are they like stocks? Or they appreciate, or is it just like immediate? Is it like buying a car and it's just immediately take a 20% haircut as soon as you drive off the lot?
Yeah, exactly. No, it depends on the watch you're buying.
Yeah,
I bought a really classic model. It's the one that was worn on the moon, and it has a lot of significant meaning to me. My grandpa was the head of the organization with NASA that was building the Apollo rockets.
Oh, wow.
And so it's been kind of a dream of mine to own one of those for as long as I can remember. And since I was looking at them like last time, probably 5 years ago or so, they've doubled in value. So, and I know that they're going to increase prices again in July. So finally, I was just like, I mean, it doesn't make sense not to buy it before the price goes up again. And yeah, it depends on what model and what brand and what kind of watch you're looking at. But if you're looking at the right ones, they don't go down in value. So it is kind of an investment as well.
Congrats, man. That's a big achievement to be able to do that with all that success with trading.
Yeah, I'm really, really happy about that and proud of it. And at the same time, it's like we were just talking about, it's kind of encouraging me to make sure I'm doing the right things in here.
You guys have a
It's like it's money in and money out. Like you got to make sure that you're locking up gains and you're doing the right things and working hard. And I want to make a lot more. So
yeah.
I was listening to this interview of Stephen Dux. You guys know him, right?
Yeah,
of course.
Yeah, he's like really into statistics, obviously, and he was asked the question, like, how do you sit around, because he's like notorious for within 10 minutes of the market open, he already knows if it's going to be a good or a bad day. If it's anything but an A+ day, he leaves. He doesn't care at all unless it's literally the best setup, like the top 10 of the year. And he's known for that. Like that's his biggest strength. And this guy asked him, like, how how are you able to deal with the FOMO of not trading every day when you see all these people trading every day and doing all that? And he was like, honestly, it's really simple. Like, I did the statistics on the trading every day thing, and if you just trade the best setups of the year, you literally make like hundreds of percent more money. And he was like, so that's a simple, he's like, I see the numbers, that's what I do. It's pretty simple, it's not that complicated. And I was like, damn, I wish I could see my numbers. But
I guess for most people, the hard part is knowing what day the good day is, right?
Yeah,
that takes years.
That's the advanced skill. I think we've talked about that before. Like that's something that I've been working on, like so much, focusing on it in terms of just like focus and mindfulness about what kind of day we're having. We have a trading psychology team with Warrior, and I work with one of their therapists every week. And that was the biggest thing that we had been focusing on since last fall, was recognizing what kind of day we're having early on. And like, you know, I'm up 100 or 200. Was it easy? Was I chopping around? Was it difficult? I'm red 100 or 200. What kind of opportunities are there still in the market? Is it basically just recognizing what kind of day we're having early on and attacking the day appropriately?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Tom.
I was just going to say the problem is with like newer traders, when they do have like a patch like that, when the market's cold and they're red and like, or they're this small red and it's supposed to be normal and that's supposed to be like a healthy day. And you just walk away and you come back later, like another day when it's hotter. The problem is like when you're a new trader, you don't know, like I know Ross touched on this before, but you don't know that you are a successful trader yet. And so you don't have that belief yet. And because this is like, you just don't have that history, and you take that red day personally, and then you try to fight yourself back green because that affirms your belief that you can be a successful trader or you are a successful trader. And then that's what fuels a lot of really, really big red days early on in your career. And that's just like, I feel like that's the most of the time that you see people just kind of like break even. They have a lot of consistent green days, and then just one day just completely washed out a whole couple of months of profit, and you're just kind of in that boom and bust cycle. I think that is because of the emotions, and that's because of trying to affirm that belief that you can be a successful trader, or you are a successful trader and you know how to make money. And that first few red days, you're just kind of overcompensating because you're seeing proof that, well, maybe you're not as good as you thought. Maybe you actually don't know how to make money. Maybe it was just a fluke.
I feel like it's so common anymore that whenever you see someone who's highly successful in trading, you're like, wow, that is a really calm person. And they just seem like they're not like a normal person that you'd see in reality, where like a bird shits on their shoulder and they're like, what the fuck? This is fucking bullshit. The universe did this to me.
Oh,
and it's like
that guy, yeah.
Yeah. And then there's the guy that, you know, bird sits on their shoulder, like, oh, that sucks. Okay, I'm gonna go get a new shirt. And it's like that's the whole process of emotions is, oh, that sucked. I'm gonna get a new shirt. Just what's the next thing? And in a way, trading requires you to be a stoic. If you are not a stoic, I don't know how you ever make money in trading, because if you take these things personally, you're fucked. I mean, if you judge any of the results of trading, then you're kind of just screwed from the get-go. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that like long term and like more generally in your life, you definitely need that stoicism and just like level-headedness and mindfulness, but also focus on the bigger picture, like not letting any one trade ruin your entire day to start with, or not letting any one day ruin your entire week or month or, you know, year or career. At the same time though, like I can be pretty easy to set off. And I know some of the other guys who are really successful, they are too. It's hard not to take some of the losses personally, especially in this market where like you're getting a nice breakout that just like completely reverses and slams on you. It's like, it can be hard not to take that personally. It feels personal, especially some of the moves we've been seeing lately.
Yeah, I'll tell
It
you what,
does feel like the
ACON at the
market's out
open.
to get you sometimes.
ACON and beat at the open felt personal. I was like,
I wasn't even looking at the top gappers out of the open this morning. I looked at the gap list and it just was like, this doesn't look interesting at all. And I'm so tired of seeing the same names on the list every day. It's like GDC, GFAI,
yeah,
CA.
it's
Like,
never good when they hang around too long and you have like 6
yeah.
former runners on your scanner. It's like, oh,
And they all trade like crap every
yeah.
day. It's like, not another day of this. So I was calling out in the room today. I was like, I'm so tired of seeing these same names. I need something new.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
Did you guys see that one Twitter thing I posted in the Discord that said how many gappers there are throughout the years?
No,
Like 20% gappers.
Yet. Let me check.
It was kind of cool.
Yeah, I
many?
saw that.
20% or more.
Yeah, it was like, here, let me just find it.
You can put it up if you want.
2011. Yeah, okay. Yeah. 2013, there was only 168 20% gappers in the whole year. 2022, 1,117.
Oh, wow.
So 10x increase in 10 years.
That's nice.
Well, I guess not 10x, but it's close.
So we
Yeah, I
definitely
do. I do feel like there is a trend. Like, I guess as the access to the markets come easier and cheaper, and it don't make sense that there'll be more participants.
Mhm.
So I do see, and I do hope that trend does continue.
Sure it will, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely partly due to more market participants, but then also I think COVID like really set it off. I don't know how many 1,000, 2,000% moves the market had seen as far as like in a
Yeah.
1 week period before then. And now people know that that's possible. And so they're making that happen more frequently. It kind of reminds me of sports where like the first person under a 4-minute mile, first person to like Michael
Yeah.
Phelps doing everything he did. Like once anyone sees that it's possible, once it's done for the first time, people are like, this can happen again.
Yeah.
And then it kind of happens again.
Yeah.
That whole mentality messes me up so much in my head because I'm just like, dude, all I got to do is just tomorrow, just trade with 10x my size. And then the next day, I'm fucking good to go. I'm ready. I'm a profitable. I'll be making $1 million after that first day where I make 1,000.
Yeah, you just don't look at your position or your share size at all. Just take the same trades.
Yeah. Dude,
That's
Colby,
what I try to do.
Do you want to talk about your what would you call it actually? Because I was just thinking the name. I don't even know what to call it.
It's called Apex Trader Funding. It's basically just like
a funded account, I guess, is what I was trying to come up with, right? Like
it's like it's a prop firm on the internet instead of in person, basically. But my one friend bought it for me because I kept bitching about my own account, and I was like, I want to trade with bigger size, but I don't want to risk my own capital. And he's like, just do this thing, because he was doing it for multiple months already, and he was trying to get funded. And he's like, I'll do it for you. It was like $20, $15 because there was like a big discount. He bought it for me, and then like 2 weeks went by. I didn't even like activate it yet, even though it was already running. And I was like, well, when this month ends, I'm not renewing this shit because I don't care to be in a prop fund. Like, I don't want to do this online funding bullshit. And then I was like, I might as well just do the same trades I do, but with like 10x my size. So I did that. And like my first trade, I made $1,000. Second trade, I lost like 200. Third trade, I made like 700. So I already made 1,500, which is what you needed to make to become funded. And then, but you had to have a total of 7 trading days. So for the next like 6 days, I just marketed in and out with like one contract just to say I had 7 days traded and I made $1,500. And I was like, it felt like there was literally zero effort on my end. And I was like, this is just not going to happen. And then they emailed me and they're like, well, you passed all the evaluation requirements. Do you want to become funded? And I did that. And it costs like $100 a month to have a 25K account through them. But obviously, if I make anything more than $500, I get to withdraw it. So It's pretty cool for me, like, because
Hmm.
I want to use bigger size, but I don't want to risk my own money. So now I can use bigger size while I'm only risking $100 of my own capital every month. So because I'm paying $100 for the account, but I can trade with like infinite size. And until I lose $1,500, that's when they take the funded account away from me, which
Yeah.
obviously
Mm.
I would have to lose a lot for a very long period of time to lose $1,500 total. But
Nice.
yeah, it's pretty cool. I've been trading in it for like a week. I'm down like $150 over the past week, but that's mostly because I've been so not focused in trading. I've been working on that Airbnb cabin like nonstop every day, and I haven't reviewed any of my trading last week. And yeah, so I'm just not fully in it. But yeah, it's a little
Not a bad
interesting.
time to not be fully in it.
Yeah, like I keep thinking too, like, can you even trade the S&P 500 and actually have edge? Like I keep thinking that recently because I'm like if you think about the stock market, obviously there's going to be in play stocks that are up 1,000% on the day. Well, are you going to trade the stock that moves 1% a day or the stock that's up 1,000% where there's a bunch of new people trading it? The hedge funds are not really trading it because they don't want to take on insane risk. Like
exactly.
And that conundrum like messes with me a lot. Like I think about that all the time where I'm like, is it really possible to have edge in the SPY? Because even in the SPY, it's not something where you can figure out if it's a good day in the first hour. You got to wait all day. Like you have no clue if at 3 p.m. there's going to be 100-point sell-off. You just don't know. Whereas small caps, right when you wake up, that ticker is up 200% with 1 million shares traded already. And it's like, that's clearly the winner. So you trade it, but I don't know if that exists in the SPY. Like I've been trying to like comment on Lance Brightstein and just see what he thinks about it. Cause he's the whole like broken slot machine, exponential bet sizing. And I'm like, does it even, cause a lot of people I see trading the SPY, they don't do exponential bet sizing. They'll bet the same thing every time because that kind of makes sense because every day is kind of the same. It's not really, yes. Is there 10% of days where there's going to be a huge trend and it's going to move 3%? Yeah. But on a day-to-day basis, that's not really going to happen. So I think about that a lot. I don't really know where to go from there.
What does he trade? What does he trade? To be honest, I'm not sure.
Lance?
Yeah.
Well, he's doing anything broken slot machine. So he'll do like a small cap, large cap, anything moving that's going to pull in a bunch of retail traders and suck out hedge funds and have a shit ton of volume. He'll trade it.
Yeah, definitely the traders I know, they mostly trade small caps. Some will switch to large caps when those are broken, just like today. I felt like the large caps were the broken slot machine. Usually the small caps are, but I feel like personally, I don't know of any like full-time Forex or I don't really know Forex traders in general, but index traders or futures traders. And if they And every time I do hear one, it's always like, a $200 day is like a really good day. And it's like,
Yeah. I mean,
or Danny probably knows a lot more because you guys have a lot segmented. What do you think?
I was just going to say, I know of two. Number one that you guys maybe probably have heard of, Ricky Gutierrez.
Yep.
He does come to mind, yeah.
Yeah, he was big on YouTube. He doesn't do as much with the trading anymore. He's into like real estate and stuff now mostly, but he started out on YouTube trading UGAS and DGAS. And that was actually my introduction to day trading. So he would trade indexes and then those got delisted, but then he transferred that style and that knowledge into basically trading large caps. So that's one. And then Umar Ashraf, he trades SPY with options, and he has made over $10 million in the market, but also is a big proponent of not trading every day.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, actually, going to Ricky again quickly, he's one of those people that I still feel like I watched one of his recent videos and he was like, my goal is to make it was like 200 or 300 a day. And I was like, he's been trading for so long that I feel like you would never hear someone like Ross say, I'm trying to make 200-300 a day. It's like, it's
Ricky
very
was
unusual
saying that about like now.
Yeah. Because I feel like with the SPY, it's like, or let's say an index is like it's tough because it's most of the time it's not broken. So you're like trying to get your quick base hit and then like kind of call it a day. I don't know. I could be totally wrong, but this is kind of what I feel like I'm always seeing in the space. But if you see like someone who's just trading the best ticker that day, you know, they have these 20, 30, $50,000 days. I guess I got to study Umar Azraf a little bit, see what he's saying. Because to be honest, I don't know much about him.
He's interesting. I don't know how much you'll take away from him and his trading style, because it's completely different strategy. Like the concepts that he's talking about in terms of like, you don't need to trade every day. It only makes sense to take a trade when you see something that has edge for you. Like that definitely applies.
Yeah.
But the type of trading he's doing is completely different from what we do.
Yeah, he's one of my more favorite traders to look at, because he does very it's tricky. That's weird that, first of all, that's weird that Ricky's saying he's only trying to make $200 a day, because I remember him trying to make like 10K a day from UGAZ DGAZ, like at the peak of that.
Maybe, you know, okay, that's good to know. Maybe I watched like one of those beginning videos then.
Like 200 a day to him would be literally like even in his rental properties, he makes like multiple hundreds a day.
Exactly. That was like, so, I don't get the point. So I was maybe he was just trying to.
Probably just extra money for him. I think it's not really a focus of what he's doing that much anymore. Like he has a private jet that he's thinking about like chartering out, and he has a ton of real estate going on. And
nice. I saw his office was dope.
It's pretty funny how once you see a trader get from the 7 to 10 million mark, it totally changes everything that they do. Like Umar, 7 to 10 million. Matt has money, 7 to 10 million. I don't know how much Ross has made, but I know once he hits 7 to 10, he's definitely working a lot more on Warrior. You know, it's not like trading is his number one every single day. Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's because he's teaching Warrior at the same time, but same with Lance Brightstein. Like he stopped trading altogether basically in the last like year. And he's doing like educational content now. And it's like, there's kind of a cap. I mean,
it makes the trading in the market teaches you to focus on where you can capitalize most. And right now it's not really in the market. Like Ross's biggest day is like $500,000 right now. Like, why would he get bent out of shape and like focus so hard on the market right now when like $5,000 is a good day?
Yeah, it kind of seems like it taps out around like $1 million a year at like, I mean, you can have a $3 million year, sure, if it's like a great year, but like any normal year for like, let's say Ross would be like, you know, $500,000 or something. So then you start thinking, okay, well, if I put the same amount of time into a different project, but it definitely gets you to a very financially stable place, and you could always make more money trading. But there's probably that point where now you can look for different opportunities because you have, you know, that 2 million in the bank after a couple of years.
That's the thing. And you learn a skill where you can look at the market and, like we were talking about earlier, like understand what kind of day it is and decide if you want to take a trade. And if you do take a trade on that right day, you're up 50 grand. And like, it was easy, and you can go focus on doing your other things. Like I think that's how you become like actually wealthy.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Back to the SPY, I was gonna say that like I feel like most traders out there that you see trading the SPY, they're kind of looking for those like 2 to 3 scalps a day, and that's it. It's just like there's usually 2 to 3 good trades a day and you're kind of done. Whereas like small caps, there could be 100 opportunities. If a stock is just ripping all day, you could just buy every dip, you know, because the edge is kind of built into those tickers. If you're already experienced, like you're going to already be way better than like 60% of the people trading that ticker that day. Whereas me, I would literally have to trade for 150 years and have $200 billion. And then I'll be better than 60% of the people that trade the SPY.
It's hard to get an edge there for sure.
Yeah. It's all just scalping, following a big hedge fund order, like trying to front run them basically. But
so are you saying you're going to go back to small caps?
I really would love, I wish I still had my PDT account and I didn't just put 10 grand into this cabin. But you
could use the other account, no, that
I could trade options in other accounts. I have multiple cash accounts in TOS, but and I have my IRA, but I mean I could trade it with cash, but that just doesn't feel right. Because I'd literally have to trade with like my max position size would have to be like, I'd want to give myself like 10 trades on a small cap, and I would only be able to make like $10. But yeah, I don't know. And then you get to the point, then you get to that thing where it's like, oh, I've been trading this for so long. Do I really try to change everything again for the 20th time? You know?
Right.
That's something I'm always weary about, because I know like if you just stick with anything long enough, you'll probably crack the code.
Yeah.
There is that kind of opportunity cost though. I mean, the book quit, I kind of talked about it so much, but you know, at what point is it worth switching if you don't consider all the things you've done in the past? So like you started new today, what would you do? That's always what you have to ask yourself. Because everything else is sunk cost. Doesn't matter.
That's like a really big reason why I wanted to do the cabin, because if there's like one other thing in my life that I probably am a little bit better at than the average person, it's just like building shit. Because like I just built like tree houses when I was a little kid. I built like just furniture and stupid shit and this apartment or whatever. But so I was like, let me see if maybe that's something that will make me money. Like maybe I can build something and make it valuable to other people, and like that's something else that could be good for me. Like the scary thought to me is trying a bunch of shit that I'm not naturally good at all. And then I have to go through the curve first of just being a little bit naturally better than everyone else, failing for multiple years. And then I get to the point where I can actually make money. But, like even trading, like I don't think anyone is naturally gifted. I mean, obviously there are people who do incredible things like very quickly in trading. And I think those are in part due to maybe they were a gambler before they were trading. Like, you know, I know there's a lot of people like this one guy, his name's like Danny Trades or something. Not Danny Camazo, but he trades like the SPY, and he'll make like 50K in a trade. And then I listened to an interview of him, and for the whole first 2.5 to 3 years of him trading, he would literally go 100% of his account into an option on an earnings trade every day. That's it, every day. And he would literally every day either be up 50K or lose 50K. And he blew like multiple accounts. And now he like uses that for clout and will make 50K and then post it on Instagram and gets all these followers. These people join his chat room and he makes money off of it. And I'm like, Jesus Christ. He would never make 50K if he wasn't gambling those earning plays before, because he turned like $900 into 40K on an earnings trade. So, I mean, I never gambled ever in my entire life until trading. And even when I started trading, I did not want to lose any money. Like I'm extremely risk averse person. So like to get to the point where I need to make 2K a day, that's going to take a long build up of me learning how to gamble in quotes properly. But
I think about that sometimes. It's like, what if I just take all of my money out of my account down to 25,000 and just like maxed out my position on all of my trades that I think are good? What would happen?
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably not good.
There are a lot of people I follow that like they call it like a home run strategy.
Yeah.
Where you're going for home runs and like you're only gonna get like 2 a year, but those 2 per year are gonna just make your account like quadruple. But
I find that a tough strategy mentally. That's kind of what I was trying to do in the first quarter of the year, where I was trying to hold my winners longer. And I would just have so many losers. And then even if I did get like a 30% winner, I'd be like back to break even. And man, that threw me off so hard. I like the base hits, you know, you take those, because like I don't know if you saw my running P&L from last week, but I had, you know, I think it was Tuesday and Wednesday, I think both days I went just like, it was almost a perfect linear line with like, you know, kind of like, and just one base hit after another. You know, some trades made 200, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes to $50. I wasn't using massive position size, maybe around like $4,000 on average. So pretty small for what I should be doing. But I ended the day up 700 and then the next day, like 950 or something. So I don't know. I feel like taking those base hits is much better. Plus you get in a flow state, and it's tough, but everyone's going to be different there.
Dude, I'm like the most streaky trader I've ever, like, I don't I genuinely I cannot fathom some of the stats I put up that are consecutive losses. Like it genuinely is like, you literally could flip a coin and just go long or short at any moment of the day and do like not better than me, like 3 times better than me. Like I had this is crazy. This is the craziest shit you'll ever hear trading. I've been trading for almost 3 years. Listen to this. In the last 2 weeks, I took, wow, no, this is actually worse now than this morning.
This is painful to listen to.
This is going to be very sad. Okay. I've taken 19 trades that are long trades. Okay. Guess how many I've won?
I don't want to.
1. 5% win rate. 5%.
So,
can you fathom how crazy
what
that
do you
is?
think you're seeing, and how do you adjust for that? Because like obviously you're seeing something consistently that if you
that is totally wrong. Yeah. Like I should be doing the opposite of what I think.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. If you just did the exact opposite, it would be an insane strategy.
So when I think of that, it's like, okay, well, it genuinely does feel like the market is watching me and they're like saying, okay, well, this is where he got in. And obviously that's like the mentality that makes no sense. Everyone's always like, the market's never watching you. Like all these losses, they're not personal. Don't take it personally. But then at the same time, I was thinking this morning, I was like, wait, what if I'm in like that perfect window of time in a trader's life, a trader's experience where for the first year, you are an idiot. You genuinely are a stupid trader. You just get long, short. You have no idea what's going on. But year 2, you kind of understand the market and you're kind of in like the same zone as the people who are actually making money, but you're not good enough yet. And then from year 2 to 3, you're kind of just stuck in that in-between zone. And I feel like those are the people that the market actually does make money off of because you're thinking like correct, right? You're logically making the right choices. You have the right ideas, but your execution is still off. Yeah. And the people who are making a lot of money that are they're trading for 5 or 10 years, they're seeing what you see and knowing where you would enter, and they're playing like the game above you. You know what I mean? So it's like trading first level trader, you just long short anything, no idea what's going on. Level 2, you're like kind of understanding things, but the market actually is kind of watching you because you're better than the noobs, but not as good as the pros. And then you get to the pro level where you can kind of look at it all from the top down and be like, yes, today's going to be long. I'm not going to get long right here because the previous day close is 5 points below right now. The people that are long right now are going to get swept out under that low. So once we take that low, I'll get long because I know that the people that want to get long are going to get long now. And the market is going to swipe their liquidity first, you know? Yeah.
I have heard that, I don't know if it's all brokers, but I've heard that some brokers, when you take a position based on your account history, if you're in the bucket of mostly winning or mostly losing traders, they will open another position either with or against you.
What?
Why wouldn't they?
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's messed up.
That's wild.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, if most traders lose money, then it's crazy for them not to do that because it's leaving a lot of money on the table if they're not trading against their
exactly. They have all of this data of these trades and traders, and they know the stats and everything about it. And so like they see Johnny over here who opens his position and he's a terrible trader. Why wouldn't they take a position against him?
That's crazy.
Poor Johnny. Yeah.
I don't know if it's totally true or not. I think that where I heard it was this guy, Anton Creel.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have heard of him. He's like an hedge fund guy who does talks now. He's got a bunch of talks up on YouTube. I think that's where I heard that.
Oh yeah, this guy. Yeah. No, it's probably true. I mean, even if like, let's say TD doesn't do it itself, they probably sell your data and then Citadel or something like that, right? I mean, that's the whole point.
That's why they're free.
Yeah. So it's not surprising.
Do you guys see like Citadel and JP Morgan's like trade win percentages?
No.
Like JP Morgan, well, it's all 51%. Start with that. But on a day-to-day basis,
because it's high frequency, right? Yeah, it's true, Danny.
It's a 51% chance
really do
on every trade. But out of all the year, they had, I think it was JP Morgan. I'm pretty sure it was like 2021 they were basing this off of. But but JP Morgan was green like 225 days out of 248. So the whole year they only
That's
had
not
like 20 red
surprising.
days. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. It's just like, wow, that's insane to think about.
Yeah, that's not surprising. And it talks to how they're weighting their trades. Because if you're green 51% on any given day, but you're ending most days green, then it speaks to how you're positioning and weighting each of those trades.
Mm-hmm.
They're basically trading the range, and then when something starts trending, they just probably get cutted.
Yeah.
No, you were saying if you have a 51% accuracy, you should naturally have 51% of winning days be winning and 49% days be losing. You're saying the way that they allocate their capital allows them to be profitable on those 220 days.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Even 1% win ratio. And that's the skill and the experience.
That's,
I mean,
those are my exact stats right now. It's really weird. My stats in the past, I have always had like a 65, 70% accuracy rate on the day. My win versus loss average has always been about 1-to-1. This year, I've really kind of changed what I'm doing, and I've basically just like, I have zero tolerance for if it's not going up or not doing what I thought it was going to, I'll just get out immediately. I don't care. So my accuracy, as far as like, I took this trade, I cut it, I lost 1 cent, but it still counts as a loss, versus when I get in for that trade that does go my way and it goes 10, 20, 30 cents. That's how I'm solidly green on the day, but I only have a 51% win rate.
Yeah. That seems to be where the trend is with my stats are going too.
I think that's a really good idea,
Really-
because the risk reward equation is, I think, the best or the most important. And
I think so too. And it's hard to like be working with beginners and teaching beginners and telling them what they should be focusing on, because obviously getting good entries is, I think, like probably the most important thing. But like, do you focus on getting good entries first and be okay with like a 30% win rate as a new trader? Or do you focus on being right most of the time with like a 1-to-1 or less than 1-to-1 profit loss rate? So I don't know. I think maybe that just depends on personality.
yeah, probably it would be better to focus on risk reward, because I feel like once you start
I agree.
telling the person, hey, you need like a 60% win rate, and then they're going to be in the middle of their trade, they're going to be like, I can't sell this trade until I hit eventually go green, and then I need to maintain. Because if you trade for your stats, you're going to be messing up. Sometimes I do it on pure accident, where it'll be like near break even. I'll be like, but I don't want to close it for 1 cent profit because it's going to ruin my risk reward ratio. And then I'll be like, did I just really have that thought? Like, what a stupid thought to have.
Exactly.
That's funny.
So, yeah.
And then you factor in commissions, and then you're like, okay, the less trades is the better if you're paying commissions, and then you're going to want to have a lower accuracy but a higher, like let's say 4-to-1, 5-to-1 risk reward, those A+ setups on those really hot days. And you just buy it on the support, and you hold it for a few hours. And when one of those stocks go from like $2 to $10, I mean, I see people trading it like that as well, and they only have one or two trades.
That's impressive. Yeah, I find that to be just so tough. So tough.
Yeah, it's a great market for sure.
Yeah.
I wonder what the impact on the market price action is ever since commissions were taken away.
Well, honestly, your chart with the more gappers is almost a perfect correlation. So TD Ameritrade, for example, is one of the last brokers to remove commissions. And that was in 2019. I think it was November. I'm pretty sure it could have been October. Either way, it was like right around there in fall 2019. And your picture showed, 2020, obviously because of COVID, but it already showed in 2019 more gappers. So maybe there's a correlation there. Who knows?
I mean, you're able to scalp finally. Like you literally weren't able to scalp before unless you already were using insane size.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. I don't remember much when I first started trading in like 2015. I don't really remember much. But I remember just I lost my account just from commissions, MTD.
Yeah.
Like $5, I think, each way.
So yeah, it was
Yeah.
like 6.95 or 5.95, something like that.
It was
It was
brutal.
There's no way for me to
Yeah.
do it. I just
I did
Googled it.
like in 2015 or 2016 or both of those years, I did like a year and a half, 2 years of like day trading. And yeah, my commission some days were like $400, you know, so like,
That's fucked.
oh, it was so painful because then you'd have your green day, but then you kind of barely walk away green or you still have a red day. And that was tough. So you basically have to become more of like a swing trader.
Yeah.
Did you trade in
the worst thing.
2015? Who traded in 2015?
Yeah, that's when I started. And then I went on my really, really, really long road trip. And then after the road trip, I was trading crypto for a bit. And then I started, and then the commissions went away. And then I was like, oh, wow, I'm going to go back to day trading stocks. And that was 2019. But that's when I had to kind of learn a whole new strategy again, because I was really only trading like support and resistance zones. And I was basically trading bounces around those areas, which was working pretty well. Like I did crypto for 2 years on that exact strategy, worked really well, but the fees were pretty high. But I was net profit. Yeah, it was just it was a grind. I didn't really like trading crypto because it was a 24/7 market, and most of the action does happen around open times of other exchanges, but it was just so inconsistent. You stare at the market for like 5 hours, and then the one time you go out for a workout, that's when everything happens. And I was like, this market's driving me insane.
Yeah.
I still occasionally swing traded, but to me, I found that crypto is better to invest in, buy some Bitcoin, buy some NFTs you really like, especially probably now compared to, when they were hot, and just plan to hold it for like 3 years and you'll probably be fine. My problem with crypto is twice I basically had to start totally over. One time I got hacked and I lost like 27,000. And then now with BlockFi going bankrupt, I lost at the high, my account had 50K in it, and now it's all gone. Oh,
wow.
So
that's a different risk with crypto, I guess.
Yeah, it's like you do everything right. I basically the only thing I didn't do right was cold storage. I have some in cold storage, but it's such a small amount that it's almost worthless to even talk about. But it's just like so painful. Like my experience with crypto, it's like,
How did you get hacked?
The hack was actually such a long story. We even had Homeland Security come to our house. They even caught the people, and we were part of like a larger SIM SWAT attack. So basically, our phone numbers were compromised at AT&T, and they used that two-factor authentication to get into broker.
Wow.
And there was like 150 plus. They're all YouTubers, so they must have got our credentials or my credentials from YouTube. Then they looked it up. Okay, their phone number matches the name, and boom. It was actually pretty savage. They caught the people. It was 2 kids, and they're in like juvie now. But we never had to we never got our money back. You would think at a bare minimum, if someone gets like convicted with a crime, like bare minimum should be to pay the people back that you stole from.
Yeah,
that's so weird. Why the fuck? How are they not required to pay you back in some
I don't
way?
know. Maybe it didn't really say anywhere, but maybe they said like in the court, like they don't have the money anymore. I have no idea. I guarantee you
you can't like sue them though.
Just be able to seize their assets.
We tried, but it's also like we were working with a lawyer for like a year and a half trying to sue them. But dude, it's tough. It's more of like tough luck, basically. Like there's no real thing you could sue them on. You basically just
wait. How they were able to get in your computer though?
And now my computer is SIM SWAT, so it's like they that never do phone two-factor authentication. It's if I didn't have phone 2FA, two-factor authentication, like SMS, I would have been fine. They basically took over my phone. I couldn't use my phone anymore. Like I couldn't make any calls. Like my SIM card was basically deleted because once you get a new SIM card, your old one basically gets canceled. So they had basically my phone in their phone, and they reset my passwords. I lost access to my my email account because they changed authentication on my email account too. Oh, dude, it took like a month to get my main personal email account back. That was with
Wow,
Yahoo at the
fuck
time.
that.
So it was pretty traumatizing.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Dude.
So never use 2FA on your phone. SMS is like so easy to hack apparently, and this happens all the time. Use like, like the Google random code generator or something like that. So far, I hear those are very safe.
So didn't they have to go and get your account on whatever platform you were using for crypto and then take the crypto and withdraw it into their bank account?
Yes, well, they withdrew the crypto and they put it on like some random wallet, and then they kept moving it. I wish I could like be like, this is where it's at, it's on this wallet, but then I think they used like a scrambler or something. We weren't really able to trace it at a certain point.
Jesus Christ.
But yeah, it was pretty sad, So I'm a little bit like butthurt with crypto. Like I still kind of really like it because I started using crypto originally to pay clients internationally, and it was amazing because it was like, oh, we want to send a Western Union to, I don't know, we have a freelancer in India or something, right? Or like a wire transfer. It's so expensive. But then I was like, oh, let's just use Bitcoin and Litecoin. And like I was because we had an affiliate network like 5-6 years ago with my brother. And we were sending out payments to all these affiliates all over the world. And it was just so simple with cryptocurrency. So that's actually how I got into it. So I really like crypto for its use case. And then we, started building up our portfolios. So it's kind of sad that like that's my end experience right now with cryptocurrency. It makes me a little bit hesitant to get back into it.
Yeah. I could imagine.
It's like, oh, such a start over.
Yeah. That's rough.
Yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah, dude. Holy shit. When did that happen? A while ago, you said, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, the BlockFi one happened last year, actually. That was the hack happened in 2018, I think. 2019. And then the BlockFi. Yeah, when did that was 2021, I'm pretty sure. That was like right after Lunar went kaput.
Isn't that kind of fucked up to think that even though we spend every single day for multiple years trying to mitigate our risk, there's just some risks that will wipe you out, and it'll literally take you to zero, and there is literally nothing you can do.
Yeah, what I started doing after those two incidents, and like I have a third incident too. It's more my fault, but I had a life insurance and had a whole life insurance plan. And I put like $27,000 into it already. And then I kind of went back to the Excel spreadsheet and I was like, you know what? I really don't know if this really makes sense. And I made a whole YouTube video on it. It was like whole life insurance first term, or I think I titled it. It's one of my most popular YouTube videos, but I basically came to the conclusion, this really doesn't make sense for me. And I closed it. So that was like another large chunk of money that was just gone. But from all those experiences I learned, I was like, if you just take like every Sunday or like every, morning to just think about like, what happens if I get hacked? What happens if if this happens, or if the dollar just has hyperinflation? Like what are like my plan Bs? How am I diversified? How am I secure? Basically throw yourself into like a stress test that banks do, and do that on a regular basis. And that's what I do now. So I have like a lot of backups, and that's what I would advise everyone to do, because be careful. Like sometimes you just get screwed, life happens. And sometimes we also make bad decisions. Like I should have never had the whole life insurance. And if I did do it, I should have just done it with a lot smaller money. But at the time I was making a lot of money and I was thinking like, hey, this is a good idea. Like screw it. I just I didn't really look into it so much. I was like, yeah, it's kind of like forced investing, which it's not at all. we don't need to talk about it, but just always do stress tests often and think and take time off to just like think about, you work so hard to build wealth. How are you protecting it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of goes back into like, make sure you pay yourself when you make money trading. Like, don't let your account just grow to 100K from 25 and you never paid yourself. That's scary.
Exactly what I did.
Yeah.
Actually, I've done that twice or so. The first time I let that happen. I got into like the mid 80s, and then the next month was like a $26,000 red month.
Yeah.
And then last fall, when I was having a couple red months in a row, I recognized that at least, and I withdrew like half my account.
Mm-hmm.
So you only need that to happen like once or twice before you make some
Yeah.
corrections.
Yeah.
And the guys that trade with big money and have big profits and losses in our chat rooms, they will size down their accounts. They'll
Mm-hmm.
take like, a couple 100,000 out of their account so that they can't do that, because
Yeah.
whatever is in the account, they will probably use it.
Yeah.
At one point, there's going to be that situation. It's very smart, especially if you're a short seller.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because sometimes it's out of your control. A ticker will just start halting up, and like, you know what? When you get your margin call, that's when it's going to stop. Like, so if you leave your money in there, you're really risking it.
Oh, dude, imagine being full size into a short and it just halts up, and then it halts up again. And then you're like, shit, the only way for me to get out is to mark it out. And you have like 2,000 shares or something. And then you can only fill like 100 per halt up. Oh, it just
That's what
eventually
happened on
blows you
top.
up.
That's what happened on top overnight.
Yeah.
Who came out of the video? Wasn't it Jack Kellogg?
I know Alex Tem has lost 450K on it.
Yeah, I think Jack lost like 350 or 330 or something.
It's crazy.
So brutal. I mean, that ticker went from like $2 to 250, and it was like 100x or something crazy. Let me see here. No, it was like $5 or $6, but it had a low of $3.50 like right before that, like a couple months before that.
Yeah.
Dude, I heard this story about these guys that shorted the Facebook IPO, and supposedly I don't know if they shorted it or longed it, whichever way, they were in the very wrong direction. And it was right whenever the IPO started, and something happened with all the brokers where they basically lost everyone's orders. And then the next day they had to like put the orders back in wherever the price currently was. And it just blew up like all these people's accounts because they were like short at like 30 and it went to like 80 or something. And they didn't even know they were short because it said they were out on their broker, but then their broker just messaged them the next day and they were like, hey, we fucked up and we lost your entire account because we mixed up all the orders, and sorry.
That's exactly what happened on COSM a few months ago. There was a reverse split, and then the new stock, basically the QSIP number hadn't changed on some of the brokers. So the QSIP number is the identifying number of the stock itself. And I guess when a reverse split happens, that changes. But for some brokers, it hadn't changed yet. And then like midway through the morning session, it did change. So same thing happened. People got really screwed on that. But that's also why it went from like 23 cents to $25 in a day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 23 cents. Yeah, another 100x mover. 100x.
So funny, bro.
That's disgusting.
It's like, damn, I just need 100x and I'm chilling. And then you look at like Drunken Miller, and he bought NVIDIA at like fucking 150. And then now he's up like 75% and is up like $80 million this year alone on NVIDIA. And it's like, oh, I'm a bitch, actually.
It hit $1 trillion today.
Did it hit $1 trillion? Wow.
Yeah, it's actually at $1 trillion right now. It's at 1 trillion and 1 billion, almost 2 billion.
I doubled my position on it last week from 2 to 4 and then to 8. So this is in my Roth where I do a little bit of swing trading. Huh?
You mean 8 total shares?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, really, really tiny position. Before earnings, I had just a 2-share position on it from like 150 or something like that. And then after earnings, I mean, I was just kind of tracking the market. Right before earnings, I didn't even know that earnings were coming up or that it was going to be as good as it was. I just saw the market and I was like, it looks like it could be a good time to add to tech. So I just added 2 more. And I guess I was kind of planning to like continue building into my positions as the market strengthened up and as tech strengthened up. And then that 300 to 375 on earnings happened. And I was like, well, I guess I missed that. But then I added more at 380 last week, and it's doing well since then. So I'll keep holding that for now.
NVIDIA is the next Tesla, baby.
Kind of seems like it.
Yeah, it does.
All this AI stuff.
The hype is like palpable.
Yeah.
Especially after the earnings. I mean, I shorted NVIDIA like the day before earnings and made like $50. And then right when the earnings happened, like, you know, how if you're looking at all the charts on TOS, whenever something crazy happens on a ticker, every other chart kind of like flickers and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just looking, I was like, what the hell's going on with these tickers right now? And I looked up and I see NVIDIA from 300 to 350 in a second. And then I'm like, holy shit, it's going to go to 400 like tomorrow. And then by the time I even thought that thought, it was already at like 385.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God.
And you were short.
No, yeah, I made $50. If I would have not sold that position though, I would have lost the entire premium, which is $1,000. So
yeah.
But there were people that bought $34 calls, and they could have sold them at open next day for, I think it was like 8,000 for $34 position size.
Yeah. Well, nobody knew that their earnings were going to be that huge. Like I didn't read the earnings, but I read a couple of the headlines about it. And there were two major firms. I forget which ones they were. One of them might have been JP Morgan, but they were saying it was like the most major earnings beat and most major like pivotal type of performance in a company that they've seen in the last 10 or 20 years in terms of the AI stuff that they were also talking about in their earnings and the potential they see for the company with AI in the next, foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they have it was like 37% or like quarterly growth or something. Like it was insane.
That's absurd.
It doesn't even make sense.
And for a company
really
that size to grow that much in a quarter, it's insane. So makes sense that they're up so much. I mean, it feels a little crazy buying it now. It just had basically a 3x run, but they were talking about it on the All In podcast quite a bit. If you guys want some good insights on NVIDIA, I would definitely pop that last podcast. You could probably timestamp it, find the timestamp. But in a nutshell, they were kind of talking about like their multiple right now is their EBITDA multiple, I think is around like 70 or 80. And they're just like, that's sure can keep going up, but that's a lot to that's a lot to fill in. So, and then now there's all these other companies coming out with their own chips and everything, so that are trying to climb at the market share. So sure, there's probably more upside, but you're definitely buying a premium right now.
Dude, imagine it's really cool though. Like if you were a person that bought anywhere below 300, you kind of just lock that in, like on that earnings day. If you bought anywhere below 300, you're good to hold for like at least 5 years now. You know what I mean? Because I doubt it's going to go from 400 back to 300. Obviously, anything can happen, but
that's kind of what I'm trying to think about and plan on. Because so this is in my Roth, and like I do think about day trading in my Roth at some point when I feel like I have enough just available capital between my trading account and checking account and like that kind of stuff. I would like to transition to trading a little bit more day trading in my Roth just to, pay less taxes. But for the meantime, it's mostly swing trading that I'm not really looking at day to day.
Yeah.
But I do think about that stuff kind of frequently. Is like, what kind of opportunities and potential do we have there? And it seems like NVIDIA is, it doesn't even seem like NVIDIA is a market leader right now, very similar to Tesla.
Accumulation for now.
NVIDIA is the market leader. It's not, it's the number 100% leader right now over Tesla, Apple, Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Facebook.
I added to NVIDIA, TQQQ, and Apple last week, and those are doing well. But I think about Tesla a couple of years ago, it went from 300 to 1,000 to 2,000, 2,500 or so before it had the split in August of 2020. And then it went from 500 back up to 2,000 and then split again. And it's
what was their market cap back then?
Oh, I have no idea. But
They hit a trillion, but I don't know if they went much more than like 1.2 trillion. I'm trying to figure that out right now.
yeah,
That's the only thing holding Nvidia back is the fact that its market cap is already that high.
Market cap is freaking massive. If it was like $400, but with like a $200 billion market cap, I'd be like, yo, this
Oh
thing,
shit, yeah.
but
undervalued.
Yeah.
that market cap.
You never know though. I mean, in terms of like thinking about the product and potential, I would think that a company like NVIDIA, software based with AI focus right now, has a lot more potential than Tesla, which is kind of tapped out. And like they're not really doing anything groundbreaking at this point. They're doing well, obviously, but
The hype's dead for
yeah.
Tesla.
They're a solid company. They'll
Yeah.
stick around.
They're also, I think Solar City is part of Tesla now.
Mhm.
Yeah, like they're doing good things. Like I don't think it's a bad investment at all as far as like energy and their
Yep.
cars. They're doing pretty well with the cars too. But I don't think it has at least the same kind of growth potential right now as something like NVIDIA with AI and tech.
Yeah, no, I feel you there.
I don't think it's even close. I mean, I mean, this is kind of funny that we sit around all day and like our job is to pretty much find a hype before it exists. And this is probably the first time ever in trading where I'm like, okay, I kind of saw that a little bit before. I didn't trade it. I didn't get long on NVIDIA like I should have. But that's like one of the best examples since I started trading that I've actually noticed where it's like, this is straight up like a tulip mania type thing where, especially once ChatGPT came out, that was like a big stepping stone for people like me, I'm not a developer. I don't know shit about AI really, but like using that one product alone, I'm like, wow, that's really interesting. It can definitely save. If I was writing emails all day, I would literally if I wrote emails for 2 hours, it would literally be 20 minutes now. And
yeah,
there's probably a lot of people that are using it for that exact reason. And you need those kind of people to be using AI for that reason to make AI become a hype,
yeah.
like it's not going to become a hype because Stanley Druckenmiller and fucking Kramer like AI, it needs to be like our grandma.
If Kramer likes AI, oh God.
Yeah. I was like, Druckenmiller, should I put him with Kramer?
Yeah.
The day that Kramer tweets bullish on NVIDIA, I'm out.
Yeah, it's over.
Yeah, hopefully he's still bearish on it.
He was in like November. So
there's have you guys checked out QuiverQuant? They have a really good website where you can like see sentiment and politicians, what they're buying and selling. And they have a really good Instagram that they go into depth on some of these videos and like short form content. I highly recommend checking them out.
yeah,
If you haven't done so. But yeah, it kind of shows if you type in a stock on QuiverQuant, they'll show like politicians, are they buying and selling it? They'll do like, what are like, what does Kramer think? They kind of do like all the classic like Wall Street bet stuff, but they have a lot of technical insights. It's nice. It's different than FinViz.
I saw a really interesting headline last week on a small cap, and I forget which one it was, and it seems to not be that significant right now because it's not still popping up. But the headline was, this company partners with this company to basically combat like fake news and fake. It was right after the fake image and fake video of the bombing near the Pentagon last week.
So yeah, that was really recent.
Yeah.
Do you remember the name of it?
No, but I typed into chat. I was like, this is the kind of headline I've been looking for, because we keep seeing more and more videos. Like if you follow Wall Street Bets, their Instagram is kind of funny, but like they'll post videos of overdubs on JPal saying all kinds of crazy things, and it looks real. And
it's insane.
Like it's kind of scary to think about that. And I know that there are a lot of scams going around with AI right now, voice generators and video generator
a lot
generation. So I've been really thinking about that being a next hot sector, is like cybersecurity countering that. So we saw that headline last week. I don't remember what stock it was, but like that's the kind of headline I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's going to be a huge problem. So yeah, cybersecurity stocks, I'm not even following any, but I think that's a great industry to check out. trading community can use some of that. There's always so many scammers in this community.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
Yeah, honestly.
That's probably one of my least favorite parts about the trading industry. It's like, oh, there's so much cool stuff about it, but then it always has such a bad rep for everyone else.
Bro, I'm about 2 losing trades away from becoming one. It's crazy, man. It'd be so easy. It'd be so easy. It really would.
Yeah.
These kids are so fucking dumb, man. You literally just get a paper account, 10K, 2 seconds. Watch how I made 10K in 2 seconds. These little kids are like, how do I do it? How do I do it? How do I do it?
You give me your money.
20K, bro. Just
yeah.
Give me 20K. I'll make you 50 in the second day. It's gonna be worth it.
Yeah. I've had a bunch of fake accounts made of my Instagram, which is really annoying. And then it's especially annoying when my actual friends are like, hey, just so you know, it looks like you have a fake account, or like this account messaged me. Is this you? And I'm like, oh, thanks for letting me know. I'm aware of it. There's nothing you can do. Like, I've reported all of them. Instagram does nothing about it.
It's a plague. I've tried to figure out so many solutions. There's nothing. I'm just like, just ban the person. I've had friends that had like 2-day long conversations thinking it was me.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
Oh wow.
It's so painful. It's
yeah, I got DM'd by a fake Danny.
Did you?
I think I sent it to you. Yeah. It was a while ago.
I think you did, yeah.
Like a month ago.
The worst. I'm still waiting for my Danny DM.
I'll just slide into your DMs on my own.
Yeah, that sounds good. Send me a meeting.
Sounds good.
I'm always here for a good short, funny video.
Yeah.
So, all right. Any thoughts going forward before we wrap it up?
Trying to take it easy. Tomorrow's the last day of the month. We'll see what we get. No need to push it. Just trying to be patient to take a good trade if it's there. Aside from that, that's it. And then all of a sudden we're in June.
Yeah. I'm not ready for that.
That's crazy, right?
Year.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
not quite. One more month for that, right?
I am. Yeah, one more month, halfway point. Crazy fast.
Yeah,
that's true. You said last summer we got okay gappers. This summer we'll see if that changes.
I wouldn't be
maybe
surprised.
Last summer was just because of COVID.
Q1 was so crappy that maybe we're just gonna have a great like Q3 or something random as hell. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'd be up for that.
Me too. I would love for some really good trading. Although I take a lot of random days off in the summer because of trips, but we'll see. It's good to recharge as well. Colby, for you, anything with the funded account?
I'm gonna keep trying to do linear bet sizing for now. Try to identify if a setup is a DCAB, DCBA, whatever. Go 1 through 4 accordingly, and try to not feel like the market is watching my trades. But
they're trying to scoop up your 10 shares.
No, literally, it's like, damn, bro, you want my $50 that fucking bad? Just fucking take it, okay? Fuck you. Can have it. Take my $50. Jesus Christ.
That sounds like defeat if I've ever heard it.
Dude, you ever been in a trade so long you're just like,
yeah,
holy shit, just fucking do it. I don't care anymore. Fucking let me go outside. Jesus Christ.
Just kill me now.
Dude.
Yeah,
my last 2 weeks straight.
Oh man, Colby, I can't wait till you break the 100K mark. I'm gonna be more happy than you.
Might only take me 100 fucking years.
You'll get there.
Now, once you start getting the hang of it, I feel like it's gonna start flowing and for you.
Yeah, I just need to
your scalability is a lot easier than the small caps.
That's
for sure.
True,
yeah, that's the one thing I got going for me. I only have to fight Ken Griffin. It's not a big deal.
What?
Ken Griffin's my competition. You guys are fucking fighting against like dude who got a stimmy check.
Yeah. Some like Tim Sykes subscribers.
Yeah,
That's
seriously.
True. Yeah.
Ken Griffin's front running all the other dummies like me that pretend to trade the SPY and act like we have edge.
Yeah, he seems like a smart guy. All right, guys. Well, I'll see you in the Discords. Have a great week, everyone.
Yeah.
Cool.
Sounds good.
All right. Take it easy.
See you guys.
Ciao, everyone.
See ya.
See ya.